I know I already made a video on OniLink quite recently talking about his level Gale Force, as that recently got raided. However, today's video I want to focus on another thing that's happened with OniLink recently, and that is him making one of his parts in Tsunami. If you don't know, this is the sequel to Tidal Wave, and he's been working on it for quite a while now. And recently, he uploaded this preview showing one of the parts, and the reason I'm talking about it today is because Twitter has not really been fond of this level, and neither has a lot of comments in his comment section. And I just want to get my thoughts on it. I'll let the video play out to show you what the part looks like. It is OniLinks style still. And that's pretty much it. People don't like this. Yeah, there's been a lot of hate, mostly towards just OniLink style not changing, and to a lot of the objects in the background, specifically these palm trees. People have been really hating on these palm trees, and if you pause it, let me go to one of the slow parts where he's showing in slow speed. Yeah, they don't look the best. I mean, they've got his style. I like the trunk here, but as you can see, people are pointing out how the palm leaves are just really jagged and they just look really off. This person said they were like barbed wires, and I can't really disagree here. The reason I think these are bad is just because I think OniLink has really overused these decoration pieces here. You can see them on the palm trees, but you can also see them in every single block design here. You can see they make up the inner walls of every single one here. And also, they're used as like a background effect. I don't know if it's gonna show. There you go. It comes up in these, and they're very jagged. They are kind of uneven. Again, you only really see on this side, and it's just an awkward straight line on the left side. I think that is the problem that they're having, but there's also just, I think, too much spikes. I think it might just be an overuse of spikes in general, and I know that makes up the OniLink style, and I think he's definitely improved on how good the decoration is in the level, but I think he still tends to overuse the spikes a lot. I mean, look, spikes here, all the objects are spikes, there's random floating spikes here, the spikes in the bottom background bit there, there's just a lot of spikes, and I think that's a main issue. And a lot of people comment on the blending. As you can see, it's a very harsh change between the colors, and that's because a lot of people critique his color theory, and I mean, I think it's true to an extent. I think you don't need to follow color theory to make a part look good, color-wise. However, I think the OniLink, he's kind of made it into his style, which means that while it's unique, and it means you can clearly tell that it's an OniLink level, and you can see an improvement in it. It will always retain this harsh change because that's what OniLink sees as his style now. So he's kind of not changing at all. Fair enough. If you don't want to change it, then do that. I think the hate's a bit weird. However, it does mean he's kind of staggered with his improvement, and people point out that the level is just really messy, which I think is very much true. Something that I've noticed with OniLink is that if you look at here, here's Tidal Wave. This is obviously the prequel, well, not the prequel, but the original level in the series, and I think a lot of people like Tidal Wave more because it's just cleaner. I think OniLink has been improving. I think that the Tsunami is an improvement on the decoration. However, it feels like in order for him to improve, he's always adding more and more and more stuff. And the more he does this, is the level just gets more cluttered, and more cluttered, and it ends up just looking like a mess, even though if you look at it at a face value, the decoration is better, it's just a lot more messier, which makes people like something like the original Tidal Wave more. So, that's my thoughts. I think the problem is OniLink is just improving, but he's not able to keep the object count down. However, again, like I said, people are not very fond of this new part, and there's examples of like this person on Twitter who decided to go out of their way to just recreate one of the parts in the level to just show what it would look like if OniLink took the advice that many people give him. And as you can see here, I think this is like, in my opinion, this is better and worse than the original. I think it's better because, as you can see, it very much blends in a lot better. If we take a look at Tsunami, you can see it's just a stark ground and water. You can see it kind of blends in here. You can see the reflection. I think that helps a lot. It's really cool. I like that a lot. And the palm trees are fixed. I think they still look a bit off, but they definitely look a lot better than what OniLink had. And the structures are more modernized. Everything looks a lot more flat. And that's the problem, in my opinion, with this part. I think that, in a way, yes, it makes it on face value better than OniLinks, but now it's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. They've kind of modernized the structure so much that it just looks like a bit more generic styled. And when we look at OniLink, it's just got so much more personality to it. And I think my final take on this is, if OniLink can just kind of get a balance between this, if OniLink can improve on keeping his object count low, while still using some of the things he's learned from his more detailed works and implementing them into that part, I think he can actually make some really good stuff. I think this part in Tsunami shows what I'm looking for a bit better. As you can see, I don't think this is colored at all, and I think this is just strictly better than Tidal Wave. I think it lacks a bit more personality. I think it could use a bit more yellow, but in terms of the actual structures, I think this is what it should be like, right? This is not too much, and everything doesn't kind of get in the way. It doesn't look messy, but it still has all the detail that OniLink wants to put in, and I think this is what we should be working towards. Anyways, that's just my thoughts. I don't really have much more to say. Thanks for watching, and peace.